changing dramatically.
And I want to make sure we're all good to go. First thing we're going to do is...
Elizabeth says, hey, she thinks it's growing because they're utilizing artificial intelligence to assist. What do you think about that? Check. Well, what's another way to look at that? Yes, ma'am. And I apologize. Remind us of your name.
There is a very cool all organization fairs going on out
that can deliver food to hotels. Do you think that could dilute room service? All right, what are some of the reasons room service might not be growing?
What is an all organization?
It's expensive. What else?
I want you to find your team.
Limited menu sometimes. What else?
That part I don't know. Somebody tell me.
If I'm out, if you're in a hotel and it's a big hotel, 500 rooms, is it a big hotel? How long does it take the food to get from the kitchen to your room? Long time. Can we serve it hot? Not very well. And then you've got to get the tray back and the dirty dishes. How many of you have seen dirty dishes in a hallway of a hotel and gone, ooh, that doesn't look so good? Right? So all of those reasons, it's tough because some hotels will have room service attendants to go up and serve and deliver, but they don't know how many to staff. And I might have a room service attendant on at my 300-room hotel, but they might only serve 2 meals a night. Have I lost money? Probably. And it's expensive. They charge a delivery charge. They charge an automatic gratuity. So room service has challenges. What are hotels doing in lieu of that? They're allowing delivery services to come in. That's one. What else are they doing? They're making deals with outside restaurants. Hey, we'll put your menu, your TGI Fridays menu in our hotel, but we get 10% of every meal that you deliver to the hotel. Right? Or we get a little revenue stream that way. What else are they doing?
Very important.
You go into a hotel lobby today. How many of you have traveled and stayed in a hotel lately? All right, what's going on with hotel lobby?
Might as well be getting your share. But part of that application and your
Snacks, drinks, wine. Have you been to an HEB or a Central Market or Whole Foods? What do they have now? Wine bars. They're trying to create community. That's what hotels are doing. Millennials say, we want to meet people. We're social. Don't give us a sterile lobby. We don't want to stay in our room. We're just going to use our room to sleep. We want to be downstairs with a TV, with music, with bar, with food. So you'll find lots of, not lots, but you'll find a fireplace. You'll have seating. You'll have a wine bar with some snacks. And that's what they're doing today in lieu of big restaurants that nobody sits in. So that you don't meet people in those restaurants, right? So that's what they're moving toward, and that's another reason room service isn't going so well, because people want to come downstairs, or they want to visit a place nearby the hotel, which makes the concierge position that much more important. All right. So thank you, Angela. That's room service. Manuel, what's another area where we can make money on food and beverage in a hotel?
So how many of you are familiar with this concept called top hat?
Yeah?
Many of them.
Well, wait, what I'm looking at right now are the food outlets, food and beverage outlets that the food and beverage director would manage. Restaurants, exactly right. Can I have a freestanding a restaurant inside a hotel? Almost always. At the very least, I'm going to have a food court or a food area where we serve breakfast. Yeah. Might also do a happy hour, serve out there. Yeah.
And to take quizzes.
Embassy Suites does a breakfast, and they do a happy hour every day for their guests. That drives a lot of brand loyalty for them. You wouldn't think that 2 or 3 beers or 2 or 3 glasses of wine would make such a difference to people, but it does. Let that be a cheap lesson for you. When in doubt, serve alcohol. All right? Good. That's another good one. Yes, ma'am. Your name is Holly. Mini bar in your room. Now, same kind of challenges we have with room service. Right? Not everybody uses it. Why not? It's expensive. Some places do the mini bars where now it's gotten to be a little easier. There was also a theft problem for a long time, but what have they done now? What has technology enabled us to do?
Don't worry about it.
Well, we have a key so we can lock it. We know if you've opened it because it has a seal, so we know you opened it. But just because you opened it, does that mean you consumed anything? No. What's another way?
Quizzes get to be a little more
You can
challenging.
take the weight. That's of alcohol typically. We measure alcohol by weighing it. That's a very good point. We'll talk about it in a minute. They don't have security cameras in the guest room. No, right? How do we track food items? How do we know that you drank 2 bottles of water and 2 Cokes just like that? Well, the housekeeper can count them, or the person that's in charge of mini bars goes into each room. But man, that sounds like a lot of work, and I got to have the information the next morning when you check out. Come on, my millennial technology guru. Yeah, they get censored, right? And as soon as that passes outside the mini bar frame, ding, it gets rung up. Ka-ching! $8, please, for that $1 bottle of water. But it's convenience. Did you have to leave your room? Could you stay in your robe and your slippers and you drank your water? Would you pay $8 for that? I know you say that now. But never say never. Spending money is relative. If you got $1 billion in the bank, would you spend $8 for a bottle of water? Probably. If you had $5 in the bank, would you spend $8 for a bottle of water? Probably not. All right, today nobody's spending $8 on a bottle of water because the stock market has gone 1,500 points, down 1,500 points in 2 days. Right? Everybody's going, I'm canceling that road trip I had.
Even if he wasn't the right driver,
right? So,
he would pull up in front.
Mini bar, big area of business, and there's some revenue there because of why. This gets us into another topic on the quiz. Why are mini bars still out there? The profit margin, what we call, you saw it on the test. What's the difference between the price and the cost of an item? You need to remember this for the next 3 chapters. The price and the cost of an item. In other words,
that's right.
The price is what the consumer pays for the item. Hold on, no. Oh, don't go there. The cost is what the entity, the hotel, or the restaurant actually paid for the item. Just the cost of the food, or the bottle of water, or the can of beer, or the bottle of wine. Doesn't include your labor cost or any of your other costs. Right? That's an important distinction. Like where you're going, just want to make sure we're tracking the same way. So price is what the consumer pays if it's an $8 bottle of water, and that bottle of water costs me 50 cents, right? What's my contribution margin? $7.50. Contribution margin is the difference between the price the consumer pays and what it costs me to get it into my inventory, right? So the contribution margin on minibar items is good. If that same customer goes down to your refrigerator at the front desk, are they going to pay $8 for that bottle of water? No, they're going to pay $2.50 and complain about it. What's my contribution margin? $2, right? Would I rather sell it from the minibar or at the front desk? I'd rather sell at the minibar all day long, right? Because would you rather make $7.50 with your sales, or would you rather make $2 with your sales? All right, that's a lesson for you to learn for your entire life. Would you rather make $11 an hour with your time, or $200 an hour with your time? Tell me. Well, then think that way. When you spend your time, think about it, because every time you're settling for $11 an hour, you're giving up $50 an hour, or $100 an hour, or $200 an hour. It's just a matter of finding that job.
Sometimes he was. If he was the actor,
maximize your time.
Even though they didn't.
Is there an opportunity cost with your time?
Would that change your opinion?
Are you spending an opportunity cost to go to college? You're not only paying tuition and fees, but what could you be doing now instead of in here? You could be working and making money. So you can't just think about what you spend. You have to think about your opportunity cost. Do you see that?
Criminal act.
I don't charge extra for that kind of stuff. I'm just sharing with you something you want to think.
You think also, though, that the women have some responsibility. They got too intoxicated, right?
Contribution margin is crucial. Hold on to that thought.
Anybody else that might have some responsibility? Why Uber?
Other outlets. Lyric. Other
I
outlets.
didn't say that, but it's okay. We can make it up as we go.
Roll your eyes at me, Lyric. No, I'm just telling you. You're thinking. I know that.
You think Uber, since they use
They
those
do.
drivers,
Can you just have a bar?
they should be responsible.
Might have some tapas. What are tapas?
Now, here's a distinction.
Small
Typically in the
appetizer type
United
plates for
States,
sharing.
when you
Another
have an
community
employment
type
relationship,
concept, right? So we'll serve wines. Lots of wines by the glass.
Elizabeth,
Lots of
I
mixed
employed
craft
Elizabeth.
cocktails,
Elizabeth
beer.
did something
Yeah.
wrong.
Think people can sit in quickly, have something, go watch the games, whatever they want to see. You see a lot of sports bars being developed in hotels.
Classify their drivers.
Very good. Any other types of food and beverage outlets in a hotel?
And it's much more difficult. If the
Spa.
whole
We could have some spa foods that we serve in there. Good point. What else?
It does happen. Should be a
Deli shop. Right? The gift shop could also be have some deli or prepared foods in it, right? You're seeing more and more prepared foods in smaller hotels. So people can grab and go up to their room, especially your extended stay, where they have a microwave or a small apartment-sized kitchen or refrigerator inside the hotel room. They're doing it all there. Why should you have to go out to MyFit Foods to buy something? You can have it right here in the hotel lobby, right? One-stop shopping. The hotel drives some more revenue. Yeah. That's what's going on in the hotel business today. All right, there's one last food and beverage concept we haven't thought about.
Those actions, no doubt. But we got the driver and the criminal, the same person.
Well, they got vending machines. That's a very good one. I hadn't even thought about that. But the vending machines on different floors, do we get a cut of those? We do. We get a cut of those. They come by and we get some dough. It's good. It's easy money. I call it ka-ching money. That's what you're looking for. Ka-ching. Everybody get it? You have to do nothing. We get some money. It drops in your bank account. Ka-ching. You're on the beach in Aruba. Ka-ching. That's the money you're looking for today. Right?
That's interesting.
All right. Well, we're still missing one. Yes, ma'am. Tell me your name. Evelyn.
Challenge we have.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Do we have to have a kitchen to prepare that? Yeah, those are big time. So the equipment we need for catering and events is different, right? If I'm going to prepare a meal for 2, do I need the same type of equipment if I'm going to prepare a meal for 150? I've got to have ovens that can hold things at the same temperature for quite a while, so everything gets served at the same temperature at the same time or over the next 10, 15 minutes. Do you see that? And I got to have a banquet staff, and I got to have enough space, and I got to have more plates. And who's going to be responsible in the hotel to make sure I have those plates and those knives and forks? The steward. Remember that? The steward is who's responsible. We don't let people enter into kitchen. Got all that? Glassware, things like that. All right, good. Very good. Let's go back to the quiz. What other questions were on there? What's the capture rate?
It's going to take a jury to figure out what's what.
Into the restaurant, right? How many people are you getting into the restaurant? How many people are staying at the hotel that actually use the restaurant? That's your capture rate. Why? When somebody books a room at a hotel, do I just want their room night money? What else do I want to capture?
This is a very good
I want everything. I want to capture their dough. Right? Hey, come stay at our restaurant. We're going to give you 10% off the prime rib dinner. By the way, second glass of wine is half price. By the way, get a shoe shine for $2. By the way, we'll clean that shirt for $4.50. By the way, right? You need a ride into downtown. It's a $5 shuttle. Whatever it is, right? Hotels are learning to drive revenue from different sources, and that's why they need people like you that understand different target markets to tell them what people want today and what they'll pay for.
If they made a call,
airlines are doing this now. How many of you like that airlines charge for bag? Of course not.
Would you think
How many of you like a sharp stick in the eye? Nobody.
Right.
Okay. How many of you like to pay for food on a plane? Nobody. But that's what airlines are doing, and why are they not stopping? Because they're making billions of dollars doing it. And
I didn't ask that.
do you really have a choice of the airline you can fly on? It's only a handful of them. You got to fly on one or two of them, right? right? So they know you get as mad as you want.
Question.
Hotels, though, are different,
You
right?
make a very fair point. And
You don't want to stay at the La Quinta, you can go across the street to the Best Western. But hotels also doing what?
They're like, hey, it's not possible
Consolidating.
for us to track everybody. And then
There
I
might be
say,
5
then why are you
franchisors
serving
today
them
that own
alcohol?
150 of the hotel brands.
That doesn't mean you got to
They
agree with
control
me.
a lot of the market, so you're going to see some of these things happen. Marriott just announced,
It's not your turn because the red lights
this is
are
going
on.
to get a little complex, but stay with
How
me.
about in the grocery store when you stand
A
in line?
career path for you is to be a third-party meeting planner.
But what about the bank?
So when you read this chapter, you probably read about working in the catering and events department, right? We talked about sales, catering, and events, yes? And you go out and let's say your job is the business banquet sales director, so you're going to go to people like Google, Facebook, oil and gas companies and say, hey, stay with us and hold your meetings with us, right? That's your job.
It's much easier to track that and account for.
But what if there was a company out there that didn't work for your hotel that had customers that relied upon them to find the right hotel for them to hold their meeting at? Would you want to know about those people as the sales manager? Of course you would, because you want to say, hey, Elizabeth, I know you work with 20 different companies and you book meetings for them. Would you please book them at my hotel, right? That's called a third-party meeting planner. Do you remember we had third-party management companies to manage the hotel? Do you remember that? Right. This is the same concept, third-party meeting planner. So Elizabeth takes a job with a company as a, let's call it Helms Briscoe. That's the big dog on the porch. Helms Briscoe.
Physical manifestations. That's what you guys are trained on when you take that, right?
Elizabeth comes to me, Google, and says, hey, Google, I want to represent you and book all your meetings, and I know the meeting business inside out. I can help you negotiate your contracts. Plus, I'll send out an RFP. What's an RFP? Request for proposal. RFP, request for proposal. I'm going to send an RFP out to 30 hotels in downtown Houston where you want to hold a meeting, and I'm going to get competition, and I'm going to get the best deal for you, right? And I'm going to save your workforce 100 hours by doing this for you because I've got it all automated. Is that a good deal for Google? Absolutely. And the best part, how much is it going to cost me?
It's just
nothing.
to take their keys.
They don't charge me anything. Wait, how does Elizabeth and Helms Briscoe get paid?
Consequences of overservice.
The hotel pays them. How?
Well outside just driving.
With a commission.
You get that?
If I book 300 room nights, listen to this. If I book 300 room nights and another $50,000 in food and beverage, right? 300 room nights, let's say at $200 a night, how much money is that? Say $60,000.
Services, Uber,
200 times 300, 60,000. Everybody got that?
whatever it is.
60,000
Part of the lodging industry.
plus 50,000 in food and beverage. Helms Briscoe
You're in the hotel
gets
business.
10% of that.
No.
So Helms Briscoe made $6,500 by being Match.com
Why not?
for businesses that wanted to book an event and a hotel that wants to host an event. Do you see that? And they give Elizabeth about half of that. So Elizabeth made $3,750 by booking, $3,250 by booking one event. Now Elizabeth books 10 events for that month. Can you do the math?
The typical social scene of a hotel.
There you go. In a month. And she did it from home in her pajamas and slippers.
Legally, and doesn't video you.
You like that?
Which we've had some.
There you go. You're sitting home with Charlie the dog,
Hotels complain.
and you're doing your laundry.
Operate.
Plumber shows up to fix your pipe, and bam, you book an event and make $3,000. There you go, dude. That's the way of the world. That's what you're looking for today. So look at third-party meeting. We call them procurement specialists. What does procurement mean? Procure, to buy. Procurement is to assist in the procuring process. I'm going to procure space for your event. I'm going to help you buy it. I'm going to help you secure it. Third-party meeting procurement companies. Look at those when you're thinking it's going to work. Now the problem is they're all commission. So if you need income tomorrow to pay your bills, that job's not for you.
works in the hotel business.
But you can start this part-time, go while you're doing your other job, build up a pipeline of clients, get a little cash flow rolling in, and then you can go out on your own.
What's the folio?
See how it works? Now, I brought that up because I was talking to you about consolidating in the market. Remember I told you about connecting the dots? Do you remember that? Thinking differently? Remember Marriott just bought Starwood. Do you remember that conversation? All right, well, Marriott now controls, I told you this,
all your charges, your room night, your
one out of
tax,
how
going to the
many?
restaurant, went to the spa, there's a resort fee.
Oh, how many percent? What percent of all hotel rooms in the world does Marriott control now?
F-O-L-I-O.
17%. So almost 1 out of 5. 17% of every hotel room is branded with a Marriott brand. Now, not just Marriott,
And when I ask you,
right? Westin, Ritz-Carlton, Marquis, JW, Courtyards, Renaissance, Fairfields, right? All their different brands. One out of about every 5 or 6 hotel room is a Marriott brand in the world. Now, do they have power? Do they have leverage? If you're a third-party meeting planner, what are the odds you're going to host a meeting at a Marriott?
room charges,
Pretty good, right?
food and beverage.
They were paying 10% commission to groups like Briscoe. What did they just do?
That's included on your bill.
They just slashed the commission to 7%.
Yeah, right. Now, back to this.
So now if Elizabeth wants to hold a meeting at a Marriott, she's only going to get 7%.
Every city,
Now if Hilton doesn't follow suit
when they license a
with all of their brands, where's Elizabeth more likely to book her hotel? Marriott or Hilton? Hilton, right? So Marriott is thinking what? When they move it to 7%, what are they hoping happen? That the other hotel chain drop it to 7%.
And what is that? Where does that money go? Because this is
See how that works? When United raises the price of the ticket from here to Dallas by $40, what are they hoping everybody else in the market does? Raise the price. Is it illegal for the CEO of United to call up the CEO of Southwest and go, hey, we need to raise the price on air traffic between Houston and Dallas? Is that illegal?
Are they in Houston?
Yeah. That's called collusion. It's an antitrust violation. You cannot fix prices between competitors.
In Houston are almost the highest in the country, if not the highest.
If you sell sushi rolls for $10.99 and a sushi place opens across the street and you go have lunch with the manager, and during lunch she says, hey, let's both raise our prices to $13.99 and agree to keep them that way, we both make more money. Can you do that? Not unless you want to go to jail.
Tourism.
There's serious criminal penalties for colluding on price and anti-competitive strategies in the United States. You cannot collude on price
They pay into a tax
in the U.S. of A. Do you see that? It's called antitrust activities. We don't let that happen.
And spend more money here.
Everybody understands that. That's another cool topic to ride on if you're interested.
Taxes to do.
All right. Now, let's trickle down a little bit into the operation of this food and beverage area. And do you remember when we talked about hotels, we talked about an average daily rate. Do you remember we talked about RevPAR? And we talked about average occupancy. Do you remember that? We talked about the STAR report and how that helps us compare our business to other people's business. Everybody?
Are they right?
So there's a key ratio in the food and beverage side of a hotel known as, we've talked about contribution margin. That's not a ratio, that's just a number.
Yeah.
But what about on food? Is food cost percentage an important ratio in the hotel food and beverage department? Yeah. So how do we find our food cost?
I taught your mother, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Cost divided by, say it out loud, Helen. Sales, exactly. So we know what our cost is, Holly, just what it cost us to put that hamburger together, not the labor. But if I sell a hamburger, it's the bun, it's the patty, it's the pickle, it's the onion, lettuce, tomato. Where's Jimmy Buffett when I need him? Oh, you guys don't know who that is.
Yeah. Baseball
I
stadium.
like mine with lettuce and tomato, Heinz, 57 and French
Oh,
fries,
BBB is the
potatoes,
stop. But Minute Maid's
pickle and a cold draft beer. Well, good
World
God
Series, you got it,
Almighty,
Mark.
which way to...
Right?
I got to play Jimmy Buffett for you guys. Oh my
This little guy that
God!
plays for
No
them,
parrot heads in
Jose.
here.
Oh,
You gotta
he's
like,
awesome.
yeah, gotta
He's
like
so much
that.
fun to watch.
Grady, you know who Jimmy
So look, they
Buffett
built all
is.
these
Surfer dude.
stadiums
You got it going on. All right.
More people to come to the city.
Next time you better sing when I sing.
It kind of runs that into
So
the city.
it's all of those things added together, right? So if all of those things help cost me $2 and I sell the hamburger for $10, that's what the consumer pays. What's my food cost percentage?
If I want to rent
Food cost percentage.
let that be a license with the city.
Flip it.
And you come and stay with me and pay me.
You told me it was food cost divided by sale. So it's $2 divided by $10. Your cost is always your numerator. Your sales price is always your denominator, which means you always divide the denominator into your numerator, right? You guys know your fraction? So I got my numerator on top, my denominator's on, which means divide by. That's what that line means, right?
They're going, hey, at least
So I'm going to divide 2 by 10, which gives me what?
you're going to
20%, 0.20, which is, Grant?
not be any
Exactly.
companies
It's always good to come after it.
has to do the
Yeah, it's
same.
good.
Is that
20%.
fair?
Everybody got that? Right now, Helmut, what's my contribution margin on that
It's
hamburger?
my house. I should be able to do whatever I want to with it.
Very rarely.
Right?
Is that stuff?
But should they? What if you are a neighbor of somebody that rents out their apartment to
Nope,
Airbnb?
don't go with labor. Just my
So you have people
contribution
coming and going
margin.
all the time. They're
My
up
cost
late
of goods sold was
and
what?
You've got to get up the next morning.
My cost of goods sold was $2. I sold it to the consumer for,
Lots of different
what's the difference?
challenges.
8. My contribution margin was $8.
We recognize
Let me
how
show you why that's
fundamentally
important right now.
of the hospitality industry is changing.
Okay.
Right. So that
Blonde hair. I'm sorry, man. What's your name? Lily. I'm going to get that one of these days. I apologize. Lily. If I sell hot dogs
let's
for
talk
$5
one
and it costs me $1 cost of goods sold. The hot dog, the bun, the relish, the mustard, you guys, you know where I'm going, right? That cost me $1. I sell it for $5. What's my contribution margin?
industry.
$4 exactly right. What's my food cost percentage?
Airlines and hotels. Was it Mo?
$1 cost divided by $5 sales price. What's my percentage?
It's my class already.
Turn it around. 1 over 5. 1/5. What's 1/5 translate to? 20%.
He never quit.
Very good, Lily. I like the way you did that in your head. It was awesome.
Very good.
Does everybody see how that worked?
We do purchase
Food cost percentage is 20%. You guys took your SATs, right?
The airline
Y'all made perfect score on math? Anyway, so 20%. So you got 20% food cost, right? All right, I got 20% food cost, and I got a $4 contribution margin. Hang on to that
Not
cost.
so much today,
Now,
but since you brought
who's
it up,
next to you? Lily, what's the guy's name?
OTA.
You, dude, yeah.
What do they got to do with your 10 bucks? OTA.
Tell me.
Have you ever bought
Nick.
anything from Expedia?
Nick.
Have you ever booked airline
Nick at night.
car from Expedia?
Nick at night. Now, let's go back to hamburgers, Nick, but forget Helma's hamburger. This is a super special, super duper a la Peter T. Hooper deluxe hamburger. You ready?
Booking.com.
So you're gonna, this hamburger costs you,
Oh, yeah, man. I was in the grocery store years ago. I was doing this diet.
this hamburger
Back to something.
costs
I was
you
talking to Helma about occupancy taxes.
$8,
30 days. So that's what I did. No sugar for 30 days.
and you sell it
My daughter's mother at the time.
for 16.
Yeah, we go on the grocery store.
What's my food cost percentage?
30 days is up to clean up something that I didn't get bag and chip opened up not to get out. When we were talking about
Nick.
occupancy tax.
Quit watching Nick at night.
The only industry
Practice your remedial math. $8 is my cost, $16 is my sale. We're going to divide 8 by 16. 8 over, Nick, 8 over 16 is 1/2. 1/2 is what percent? 50, Nick, 50%.
because doing so good when
Did you say that?
in the city of Houston.
Oh, he did? I didn't hear you, dude. I'm sorry.
Right.
Did he say that? Did you guys hear
This
that?
tax is not on you, right? The occupancy
My bad.
tax, because you typically don't stay in a
Thank you,
hotel
Nick.
in your own
Yeah,
city.
good. Thank you. You said 50%. Yeah, you thought it was too easy. Can this be right? It was right. 50%. What's my contribution margin?
Higher occupancy tax.
$8. Very good. Lily,
Because it doesn't impact you.
what was our food cost on the hot dog?
Visitors.
Food cost percentage on the hot dog.
How many of you remember your
20%. So, Lily,
revolutionary history
Nick,
in the United States?
if you're just looking at food cost,
I said, cry was
do I want to sell the hamburger or do I want to sell the hot dog?
representation? The United Kingdom.
Right? If I'm looking at food cost percentage, do I want to sell the hamburger or I want to sell the hot dog?
Politicians over there. Oh yeah.
I want to sell the hot dog because I got a much lower food cost percentage on the dog.
It was crazy.
Right?
Taxation
It's
without
only 20%.
representation.
I want to sell hot dogs all day long,
When
right?
you go to New York City,
Because if I'm just looking at my food costs in a vacuum, that sounds good. But Nick, how much am I making every time I sell a dog? Every time I sell a dog.
it's classic taxation without representation.
Ah, Lily, help
We
him
just haven't
out.
had a revolution.
Lily, he already forgot your hot dog price.
Now, what's the other industry?
$4, right? But Nick, every time I sell a hamburger, how much contribution, how many dollars of contribution am I putting toward my expenses?
So you don't complain about it.
$8. Would I rather sell hamburgers or hot dogs,
We
Nick?
talked about it last time. Think about all the different aspects of
Nick,
travel and tourism.
do you remember the conversation we had 10 minutes ago where I said you can make $11 an hour, you can make $20 an hour? Which one would you rather do?
Exactly right.
20. If you can make $4 a dog or $8 a burger, which one would you rather do? Burger, dude, exactly. Thank you, Nick. Do you see how that works? So you can't, food cost is important because it helps you with your standardized recipes and making sure that portion sizes are right. Yeah. And it also helps you determine the appropriate contribution margin. That's helpful. But you have to look at contribution margin as well. Otherwise, you're leaving money on the table.
Okay, so it's the same thing with the rent cars. And now you know taxation.
Evelyn, if I sell a steak
how it all happens.
for $40 and it costs me $20, my food cost percentage is 50%, same as that burger. But would I rather sell steaks or burgers?
Stadiums.
Steak, because I got a $20 contribution margin on that steak. Do you see that? So on my menu, what do I want to promote? Hot dogs, hamburgers, or steak? Steak. It's all about revenue management. It's all about yield management, right? Now, I get to take that contribution margin money, that $4 on the hot dog, the $8 on the hamburger, the $20 on the steak, and do what with it? Because that's my free cash flow from that sale, right? I got to take $1 on the dog and pay for the dog and the relish and the bun and the pickles, etc. I got to take $8 on the hamburger, pay for the patty and the bun and the lettuce and the onion and the pickle. I got to take the $20 from the $40 of the steak and buy the steak. So that leaves me $20 or $4 or $8 to do what with, Nick?
Which ones would you think?
I'm going to keep this flapjack on the griddle, buddy. Keep going.
Chicago's big. You guys are missing the biggest.
Well, is my only expense the hamburger?
Vegas.
Or the hot dog? What else do I have to pay for?
Orlando.
I got to pay for the people that make it, the people that serve it. Do I have to pay rent? Insurance, utilities. Do I need to provide Wi-Fi? Do I need music in the joint? Do I need chairs, furniture, fixture, and equipment? So that's the money that goes to. Do you have to pay your lawyer, Nick? Say yeah. Nick, am I a lawyer? Yeah. Do you have to pay your lawyer? Nick, did you read my bio before you came into this class?
I got off track
Nick,
and I apologize.
did you read that? Then I'm a lawyer.
Now we're back to
You got to pay your lawyer, Nick. Rule number 1, pay your lawyer. There you go. So, do you see, Nick, why we need this money and why we want to maximize the contribution to our cash flow, right? So now, Nick, if you're going to open your restaurant with your grandparents' money, it's their life savings and they're dependent upon you for their retirement. Do you want to sell hot dogs, hamburgers, or steak? There you go, Nick. You're a genius, dude. I love it. Thank you very much for walking us through that. It was an awesome job. Say thank you, Nick. That's not an easy thing to do. You managed it well. Way to go.
What we sell is
That's terrific.
perishable.
Everybody get that?
Perishable
Nick is a
means
wonderful teacher.
it will go
That's the
bad.
lesson we learned from that conversation.
Okay?
All right, everybody golden?
Think
And did you
about it
see
this
that?
way.
And you see why it's so important? And you see why I've done this? Now, we're going to come
I
back to that
have
when we
100
talk about restaurant operations.
in my hotel.
And I'm probably not going to call on dear old Nick. I'm going to call on somebody else.
I only sell 99
Did everybody see that, though? You see how that works and why it's so important and why you have to connect dots and why you can't look
Will
at things
I
in
ever
a
be
vacuum.
able to sell that room night? Don't think about the
Why are
physical room.
hotels so
Think about
successful?
the room night to night. Will I ever be able to get the money
Their
for that
contribution
room night
margin
in the
is
future?
high. Look,
It's
we
gone
just saw for
forever.
a hot dog,
I
the
have
contribution
forever
margin is
lost
$4.
that
For a hamburger, it's $8. For a steak, it's
money
$20.
from that
In a $150 hotel room, what's my contribution margin? About $130.
Okay.
I got to pay the housekeeper to go in and clean it for 30 minutes. Right? I'm paying her or he $20 an hour. That's $10 for 30 minutes. I got some shampoo and conditioner. I got some washing sheets. I got to vacuum, use a little electricity. Cost me $20. Now I got some wear and tear and depreciation on the furniture, fixtures, and equipment, right?
$100.
I got a Wi-Fi expense. That's $20. So my contribution margin is what? $130 for every room that I sell.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. It's like when we
Would you rather sell hotel rooms or steak?
Right, and somebody comes up, we're like,
Well, there you go. That's why you got a hotel popping up on every corner.
I know they did it, right? That's
Only
what we
doing
do.
9,900 the day before.
Listen, I'll go out and I'll speak to Choice Hotels, or I'll speak to Best Westerns, or I'll speak to all the others, the select service folks. I'll have 1,000 of them in the room. And you know who I'm speaking to? I'm not speaking to 1,000 motel owners or select service hotel operators. I'm speaking to 1,000 people that have multiple millions of dollars in the bank
They have
Your job.
100
off a
seats
60-room hotel or a 120-room hotel. And they started with that, and now they've got 20 of those
99
things.
seats.
It's a remarkable business if you run it well.
Can they
And
ever go
it's
back
not
and
just
make up that extra
revenue generating. It's also a real estate play today. I was at a conference,
Never be
this was
sold again on
right
that day at that time.
before the
They'll sell it
2008
on
bust,
another flight.
and there was a fellow in there who had operated a Best Western, a 100-room Best Western hotel in Miami Beach for 25 years.
That's why we
He had
call
made a
it
ton of money operating that hotel
We don't
for
sell it
25
today,
years.
it's
Does everybody want to spend $300 a night when they go to Miami Beach?
Macy's.
Some people are totally happy spending $49 a night, right?
And you go
Because they're
in
going to
there
say, well,
and
I'm
they
not going
have
to be in the room
sweaters
anyway,
for sale,
right? So this guy
You
made
look at the sweater,
oodles
you
of
decide,
money
hey,
selling
I don't really
rooms
like this sweater.
at his
I'm
hotel.
not going
But
to
you know when he
buy
made
it.
the most money? Is when he sold his
And
land.
Macy's still sell that sweater to
He
somebody
sold his
else.
land for
They
$25
can sell it
million.
to somebody else, or they can sell it the next day. or the
Little
next
bitty
day
piece
after
of
that, or the
land.
next day
But
after
somebody
that.
now
They put it
could
on
put
a
up
sale rack and try to
a
generate some money.
50-story hotel
We don't get to
on
do
that
that
little
with
parcel of
hotels
land
or
that he had
and
the
airlines.
wherewithal and the foresight
we don't
and
sell
the
it that
courage
day or
to
that
buy
night,
30 years ago.
It's gone.
So it's not just revenue from operation. You have to think real estate today as well, whether it's a restaurant or whether it's a hotel.
Perishability is a big reason.
And that helps you decide feasibility, return on investment, and exit strategy.
To sell.
Everybody get that?
That's also leads us to do what? What does this industry do that other
So far, so good.
businesses typically don't?
There were a few other questions on the quiz. Anybody remember what they were? Because I don't.
You got to be
Am
aware
I
of it.
going to stop when I
That's
have
not their
100
game, right? It's
reservations?
yours, and you got to
I'm sorry, I
realize not
can't.
everybody
What am I
One more
going
time.
to do?
So you got to be cognizant. So did you get the order?
I'm going to sell them all out, but am I also going
Who
to
is the second command in the kitchen? Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I know
Who
it
is the
doesn't
second in
sound
command
bad,
in the
it doesn't
kitchen?
Feel good?
Sous chef.
Stuff.
Who speaks French?
Hotel industry learns to
Sous stands for
What's your boyfriend's done?
under. We also call it the assistant chef.
overbook airlines.
This is the person, the chef, what we call the executive chef,
Or if somebody ever offered
right,
you
will
money
answer
on
to
the
whom
go,
in a hotel.
That's because they what we call oversold.
The executive chef will answer to whom? food and beverage director, and the food and beverage director answers to whom? GM, right? Okay, great. And then who answers to the executive chef? The sous chef. So the executive chef is the person that typically designs the menu, hires and fires, right? The sous chef is typically the person that's in charge of the kitchen and what we call the kitchen brigade. Are you a culinary person?
You don't get a
Okay,
refund.
so can you explain to them very quickly the kitchen brigade system? We have the executive chef, the sous chef, under chef, sous means under in French, right? So the assistant chef, and then we have the chef de
non-refundable. We're going to give you a
partie, which stands for?
If you cancel, then what happens? They get to keep the money.
You
See how
It's okay if you can. I don't know either. I was hoping you did. When we have the rotisserie, chef de rotisserie, which is the grill, right? Grill. And pâtissier, how do you pronounce it?
Here's what you're doing.
Pâtissier, that's the pastry chef, right? And who else do we have? We have the tournant. What's the tournant? Chef de tournant.
And then you turn other reservations away. And
Okay, saucier is in charge of all the sauces, right? We do that. And then help us understand what mise en place means.
The child is
could spend more
immature.
money, right? You relied on my promise.
Big deal.
That's exactly right. A place for everything. How we translate that in the kitchen, mise en place, is a place for everything and everything in its place.
As well.
So when the doors open and customers come in, is everything in the kitchen ready? We have all of our ingredients ready, all of our products ready. So when that first order comes in, are we prepared?
All right, good.
Creative.
Grill station is set up, the salad station is ready, the dessert station is ready.
You know, the basic 7:30
All of our
work.
garnishes are ready. All of our plates are in the right spot. Everything we need to dip sauces is ready to go. A place for everything and everything in its place. Mise en place. M-I-S-E-E-N-P-L-A-C-E. Mise en place.
I'm going to leave most of that to you to read.
Got it?
Unless we talk about
All right, another question on the quiz that you want to know.
Of this industry and how
Listen to me.
Smurf, you guys know what that is, right?
No.
We went over that the other day. Everybody remember? If you go into hotel sales, they always divide them by, you're going to be in charge of Smurf business, which stands for
Is that something you want to do?
social,
It's important to me that we stay engaged.
So-
I don't get on my phone.
religion, and fraternal. Social is a big category. Weddings,
Or did transportation?
big time. Reunions,
Yeah, put them in the middle.
family, school reunion, yes. Social, if you just want to go have a party.
History.
Prom, social,
I'm not talking about
absolutely. Okay, so Smurf is one side. The other side is
2,000
business.
years ago.
You have business travel, selling room nights to stay at the hotel for their travelers and their customers, and also banquets and events. Right? Big business. Big business. Is the meeting and events business big?
It's yours. Because
Ginormous.
you set the boundary. You don't go,
Ginormous. $1 trillion business in its own right around the world.
Most other people said lodging.
Okay? Video conferencing did not end in person-to-person, face-to-face meetings, conferences, and expositions. It's absolutely huge. Okay? What's another question?
I think that's the thing. People used to
Seating.
walk.
Yeah, because if you're talking about banquets and events, you have to know about seating. What style of seating is this?
Own place.
This is theater.
And they couldn't
Classroom has tables in front of the chairs for people to take notes.
a place to stay.
Right? Theater seating. What is conference style seating?
So lodging
It's kind of a circular table, right?
started by just that.
Right? If I said to you, I want seating crescent rounds of 8, what does that mean? Crescent rounds of 8.
Going on today.
What does that mean?
I'm okay. I get
Airbnb or
that.
couch surfing.
Nope, horseshoe is horseshoe.
It just took us a while to monetize it.
Crescent rounds of 8.
Does everyone understand monetize?
So when we talk about tables,
You've got to
you
step
talk
down
about
now.
a table that'll hold 8 chairs, table that'll hold 10 chairs, table that'll hold 6 tables.
Get started.
But typically I'll say I want rounds of 8. But if I say crescent rounds of 8, not necessarily half. It means you'll give me a table that would ordinarily seat 10 but you're going to give me 8 seats added, so what?
That could carry more people and more things.
You have more room, but why do I want it crescent? In other words, I don't want the entire table filled with chairs. Why
I
not?
left with 20 people and I got to
I don't want anybody's
What do I
back
have
to the
have for
screen.
20 people when they get there.
Now, if I'm not doing a program, do I care? No, put as many people as you want at the table, right? If I'm in a restaurant and I say, seat them at that deuce over there, what does that mean?
Entertainment.
Table for 2, 2 tops. Put them at that 4 top, right? Put table 14 and 15 together to make an 8, right? You see how it works? All right, we'll get back to the restaurant side. But this seating concept in banquets is important. That'll all be part of your BEO. Yeah? What other things go on a BEO? Grady, what else goes on a BEO?
Trains became invented, but they do this as the continental
What's planned? But give me some of those details. What are some of the things, items that'll be included in that
So many
plan?
miles of track would get laid. So
Audio visual. We call it audio visual. Exactly right. What else?
But the people that took the train had
The
money.
food items that they've
would
ordered,
end up
time that it
with
needs to be served, how many portions, right? I need continental breakfast for 80,
Lodging, food and beverage,
right? Plus coffee service,
entertainment,
plus fresh
saloons,
juices.
etc.
Are there going to be flowers on the table?
All of this.
Are the tables going to be skirted? Do you know what that means?
Exactly what happened. And then
Skirt means that instead of just a table like that, you see how the skirt is on the bottom?
did a
You see that?
or a city have
Glad I
to
brought this
have.
prop. Oh, I'm gonna
We
lose it.
call it infrastructure.
So if it didn't have this on it, what would you see?
Well, you could have a
You can see the legs, and they're
You can
usually
have a
nasty because they've been stacked on top of each other. But if we skirt it, does it look better and more
and
professional?
you could have a hotel
Yeah,
next
so
to
your
it.
tables need to be skirted. Does the color matter?
But people aren't going to want
Yeah,
to
you
stay
have different
if that's all
colors
you
of skirts
have,
depending on
right?
how
Are you okay?
big your operation is, right? I need to know how it's set. Is it important to know if the lunch is buffet or seated? Clearly it needs to know that. If it's seated, I need to have many more people there to serve, right? If it's buffet style, I just need some people to set it up. Yeah, coffee and tea at the table. Yeah. Is dessert going to be preset? Is salad going to be preset? Right? Those things have to be on the BEO. They have. If you want to be on the sales side and the banquet and catering side, you have to be detail oriented. You have to be.
Twice today before you travel to a
Yeah,
location.
and if you're putting on an event, do you need to review those carefully to make sure they're right, that your messaging got through and they understand, because that's your event. If you have people with disabilities coming to your event, you need a ramp on the stage.
All things you guys are used to. Not recognized.
If it stairs into the ballroom, does somebody have to put a temporary ramp in for the person in the wheelchair to get up? Yeah, you've got to think about all these things. You just can't look at these things in a vacuum. You have to connect the dots.
Airline jet service. It enabled us to
Do you
go
understand
further
contribution margin?
than ever before.
Do you understand what a food and beverage director does? Do you understand food cost
like
percentage?
Tahiti,
Do you understand the way banquet and event spaces are set up?
back 30 years ago,
Seating
all of
style.
a sudden, jet service.
Do you understand BEO?
All of a sudden, 300 people to Tahiti. What does Tahiti have to have? Because when you put 300 people there, all of a sudden, they don't live there.
Anything else?
And they get off the plane, what do they expect? They're not going to sleep
You
on
want
the
to count
beach.
this quiz?
They need a hotel. They need a resort. So there's a constant synchronization. There's a time and evolution.
You get to drop one grade.
And travel.
You don't want to spin this one on your drop?
Lodging and infrastructure.
You get to choose your lowest grade. We'll automatically drop your lowest
Everybody
grade.
see that.
But if you miss the grade, you get a, if you miss the quiz, you get a 0 if you drop it.
So let's just review really quickly. What's an OTA?
Let's see, Brandon, you had your hand
Yes,
up.
sir, on the, yeah, you right there. Yeah, yeah.
Theater style is good for living.
Tell me your name.
Yeah. When you're calculating your grade. Yeah.
With an E.
Get away with that, lad. I'm not doing that.
Alex.
I typically make the first quiz
Tell me what's an
practice,
OTA.
but it always upsets the
Exactly.
people that
Give me-
did well.
Oh, that's right, Alex. You're the soft-spoken guy. Alex.
How many of you think it's fair if we make the first quiz a practice quiz? Raise your hand.
Excellent. I love it.
How many of you that did really well would be okay making it a practice quiz? That's fine. We have a generous group in here today. So, Spencer, we'll make that a practice quiz.
His brother Hose Beat.
All right. Now, hold on.
So we got Jose.
What do we learn from this? Do we learn we
What's perishability mean?
do we learn we have to study? Do you learn the types of questions we're going to ask? If you didn't do well on this exam, did you study well? No. Did you study enough? No. Is there a premium for being prepared when you come into the classroom?
Now, some people will say,
All right,
like,
guys.
an apple is perishable.
It's up to you now, right? You know where we're going and how we're doing it. Hey, great conversation. Let's keep them going. Are you learning? Rock and roll. Go out. Have some fun. Oh, wait, I heard something kind of cute on the Super Bowl, was it?
What's he
Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive.
Yes, ma'am.
No, what was something else? Don't do something.
Lyric.
No, something else that I thought was cute that you guys would like. What was it? Don't something and drive. How many of you put makeup on and drive? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. How many of you read the newspaper or read and drive? Raise your hand. How many of you eat and drive?
They spend their time.
Yeah, you guys do that. Remind me not to drive when you guys are out on the road.
All right,
hey, chocolate. How many of you think you can go to the stroll on Thursday night? Yeah, try to go. I think it'll be fun. I'm going to try to make it by. I hope to see you out there. Everybody knows where Central Market is? Oh, I'm sorry. Central Market is on Westheimer between Wesleyan and the Loop. It's just, if you're going out toward the Galleria from mid on, it's on your left-hand side just past Wesleyan. You know where Highland Park Village is? Highland Village is, with all the stores, shops. It's directly across from the start of that. Central Market. It's the one on Westheimer and Wesleyan, right on the corner. You can't miss it. Hope to see you there. Hey, guys. Hey. Chapter 5 for Thursday, right? Be ready. Okay, see you then. Bye-bye.
Residents and visitors. You need an infrastructure. Okay? All right, good. So now you kind of have the history and how it's tied. You know a little bit about the business and how it's growing. Let's go back and just do a quick review of all of the areas that we're going to be thinking about that makes up this incredible economic powerhouse. Right? That you guys are thinking about going into. So in your book, there's a page that has an umbrella. Can you open that up? If you need to get online to look, if you've got a digital book, go right ahead and do that. Chris, if you don't have a book, get with somebody that does. Lean over, move if you need to, but I want you to see this umbrella. You need to look? Okay. Jordan, you got a book? Oh, you're going to pull it up. In their room. What page is it on, man, in the red? 15? Thank you very much. Okay, what's the very first item there on the left-hand side of that umbrella?
But now what do you
Travel.
do?
Do you have one? Young man in the back, can you look on her? Can you see her? Yeah, you got it? Okay. Travel. What's under travel? Jose, what's under travel?
Person is to ask. Yeah, and so let's say that that's Ellie. Is it Ellie?
Right. Travel, transportation, ecotourism. Lyric, what is that?
Chris says to Ellie,
it easy for people to move around.
Exactly right. To experience nature. And what does that mean we have to do if we're in that area?
You don't have to answer with a
and
question.
or we visit that area.
Hypothetically, use your imagination. Why might the wrong?
That's exactly right. Because if we don't, will that
An
erode?
answer.
And other people won't get an opportunity to see it. So sustainability is crucial when we think of ecotourism. Very good. All right. All the modes of transportation, air, sea, ground. Yep.
From those other major cities we've talked
Ecotourism.
We're asking why
Excellent.
5 times.
What's the next
You
one?
asked him once.
Lodging. Read it out loud for me, Laura.
Are you familiar with zoning?
Wrap up this part of the discussion.
Hotels, motels, and resorts. The book is out of date, isn't it? What are we missing? What we call shared services. Airbnb is a brand that represents that. What about HomeAway? Are you familiar with that? HomeAway is an example, like Airbnb. It's another one. And look, I bring these things up to you because don't just think about going to work for Hilton. There are lots of jobs with Airbnb at the corporate level. Lots of jobs with Uber at the corporate level. So think big, think broad, think bold.
It can be retail.
Think about a career. Think about something that really drives you and interests you.
But you can't have warehouses and distribution.
Now, we're missing some other things in that lodging category. How many of you ever stayed in a hostel?
And it's like a cookie cutter
Stay in a hostel.
system in the city.
Everybody know what a hostel is?
Does not have
It's a relatively inexpensive place of lodging where you typically share a room with 3 or 4 other people.
neighborhood restriction.
Yeah, might be a community bath.
You can't go put a bar next to
Depends on how much you want to pay. But they're usually placed in pretty cool parts of the city, but they're usually a cheaper option. You've heard of people backpacking around Europe, South America. They'll typically 1 or 2 nights a week. If they're not camping or hanging out, they'll stay at a hostel. A hostel is usually about 30% of what a hotel is.
inside
It's a
the
much
loop.
cheaper option.
Where I live in Montrose.
Travelers. So hostels are good examples of lodging.
Right?
What about cruise ships?
Bars, the restaurants.
Are they a form of lodging?
Right there.
Yes, it's a hybrid. It's transportation and lodging combined. Very good. What about hospitals? Lodging? Absolutely. Now, are hotels starting to interfere with the apartment business? How many of you have stayed in a long-term stay hotel? Anybody done that? Your family relocated to a certain area, so you stay for 30 days or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 30 days in a hotel. Give me a name of a brand of a long-term stay.
And normal operation.
Extended Stay America is an example of a long-term stay. It's a different model.
You're in the hotel business.
They don't really want
it
people just
certainly
to come
has
for
to
one
be.
night. They want people to stay a week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, a year.
Demand for a hotel, what happens to the price?
They fill that gap between permanent residency and transient occupancy. Hotels
Airbnb a good
are
thing
in the
for
business
everybody.
primarily of transient occupancy.
live in a neighborhood.
People that aren't staying there for a long stretch. Apartments,
Not so much now. You got to think about
rent
it.
to
The
tenants.
question really isn't this.
People that want to establish a residency there.
Are you going to want
Right?
cars?
And ask
parked
that's
down
what
the
that
street?
is about, right? That's another.
Everybody see that?
But if you're the person
Long-term stay hotels fill that gap a little
if
bit.
you're just following kind of
People don't want to sign a year-long lease for an apartment. But they need to stay longer than a week.
that's not going to help
So long-term stay hotels help them.
So you want to stay focused on these
Everybody see that?
wait.
Just making sure you're in the right place, young man. You're supposed to be an introduction to hospitality. You started at 10 o'clock. Are you supposed to be introduction to technology?
And if you can be on time,
In either one? What room are you looking for?
I got other things to do.
This is S104.
And that's absolutely okay.
You're
to say.
probably,
And you got to
is
be
it just
okay
104?
with the friendship going off in another direction.
How else do we mark?
Big difference,
Okay.
right? That's got to be it. I just had to have that.
This is what I think where you're supposed to be.
Loves to meet up.
If you go out,
Go
go all the way to here, walk through the front, go out that door that's over here, and you're going to see some doors that'll go strike that. Spencer.
I said for you,
Spencer,
that may not be.
take him over to the continuing, you know where you're going? Continuing ed over there? Yeah, and if that's not 104, the other Foods 2 lab or the kitchen over there, but I think those are closed down for renovation. All right, so hang with him until he finds what he's looking for. See? Yeah, good luck, bud. Spencer gets extra credit for knowing where things are. If I'd asked one of you to escort him, you'd have done it. Right? All right. That's why you need to know where you're going, and you got to take that tour. And Spencer took a lot of time building the tour. Take the tour. It'll serve you well.
And they're late.
Because I might get lost, and you need to escort me. Is that customer service?
Always.
See, customer service, you just don't go. Customer service, you go Spencer, take him over there.
Today, there is absolutely zero reason
The tour's on
not
Blackboard.
have anything to do.
Yeah. Anybody find it?
Nothing. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so
It's on
much
Blackboard.
right here, right?
Hilton College Tour. It starts you at a certain place. You just walk. It take you 15 minutes. You just walk around during your break in class. All right. What were we talking about?
Help you stay. Why?
At the airport.
Don't we?
Lodging, right? And we were adding things to it. Hospitals, hotels with doctors.
What's
Extended stay America, right? We talked about the difference in the gap. You got all that. Transient, tenants, the gap. Everybody? Okay. I think we covered lodging now. Hey, what's the difference between a hotel and a motel?
Now we can look forward. That's a mistake.
Motels historically are cheaper, but we started out with motels before we got to hotels. But what's the difference? Outside access. Very good. Motel is short for motor hotel.
Yes, that's right.
You drive your car up to your room. You get out of your car, you walk into your guest room, or you go upstairs to your guest room. It's exterior access. The hotel, you go into the lobby and you access your room from an interior corridor. Everybody understand? Interior corridor. Hotel versus motel. You should charge extra for that. That was really good.
You oversee
Yes, sir.
messed up. We had confirmed already, but she sent a reconfirm out, and a couple of us confirmed one.
If a hotel had to have a restaurant? Oh, what a great question. We'll learn more about that on Thursday when we study hotels, because there are different types of hotels. Now, you may be confusing. Last week we talked about country clubs. What do country clubs have to be a country club?
Solve it.
Golf course.
This isn't CSI.
Yeah. Nick worked in the pro shop, right, Nick?
When you
So that's
feel
where
like
you
you've
can be,
gotta
but you have to have
prove
a
somebody what you
golf
said or
club
did,
to be a
you
country
gotta
club.
realize
But a
you're out
hotel,
of bad
no.
path.
Just
This
rooms
has turned from
to
a
rent
friendship
now.
into a courthouse.
There are different levels
If you
of
want to be in
hotel.
the courthouse, go
Select
be a
service
police officer
hotels that
or
just
be a
have rooms.
lawyer.
Full-service hotels that
You don't
also
wanna
provide
drag that
restaurants,
stuff
room
along
service,
friendship.
things like that. And we'll talk about those
about
distinctions
conflict
as we get into hotels over the next couple of days. Very good question.
School,
We find it? 104?
Felt like, and he had confirmed the first time. When she reconfirmed
Over on this side.
whatever that is.
Oh, he was in 114.
Do those?
I thought he said
She didn't
104.
write back to him.
Ah, okay.
I just had a flash.
See how that happens?
This is how not to do.
Fake news. All right,
If you choose to
let's get through these really quickly. I want you guys to get outside.
you're not sick, does that
Lodging.
impact
What's next?
you? That impacts your coworkers.
Assembly and events. Listen, do not underestimate this as a
And
career
it
path.
impacts the business that is
Meetings,
hired and invested in.
Events, conventions, trillion-dollar business. What's the largest convention that comes to the city of Houston every year? Attracts more people than anybody else.
All of the constituency.
Oh, the Offshore Technology Conference drives a lot of people, but I think the one I'm thinking of is even bigger.
If you are in a restaurant,
The rodeo we call more of an event, not so much as a convention, but the rodeo outdraws everybody and everything. The rodeo in, I think, 21 days outdraws the entire Houston Astros home baseball schedule. 80 days. It's crazy how much the rodeo draws. The quilt convention.
before you make that
The
choice.
quilt convention.
Children married.
Yeah. If you haven't been to the quilt convention in Houston, you need to go.
And is
It
fair
is
to consider
huge.
them
You know what a
all
quilt is,
together?
right? Quilts? You see the most
not?
crazy things ever, and it's
You
so
gotta
much fun
think-
to go
you
see.
gotta distinguish.
Yeah, and they hold it down at the George R. Brown. You walk around, you look at quilts all day long.
Who's going to be impacted
And you're like,
more?
ooh, that feels good.
I tell you,
And you see all these women over there. You got a lot of men now, too, that are quilting, and they do that. It's big business. Quilt business. Okay, so meetings and events. What is under that umbrella?
You rate your prices. Okay. You know how that works, right?
And expositions. And you, as we go through the course, you'll learn the difference between an exposition and a meeting and an event. Hang on to those thoughts. What's next? Restaurants and managed services. Let's make that food and beverage, right? Do we have food and beverage on a college campus?
And that leads me to
Is that a
another
restaurant or is that a managed
critical
service?
thinking concept.
That's a managed service. The university doesn't run the food and beverage here. They hire a third party to manage their food and
Toward the
beverage.
conversation.
Right? If I don't know how to operate a hotel, but I got some money and I want to open and own a hotel, can I hire a third party to manage it for me? Yes. Same thing with food and beverage. Do you see? Okay, good. Food and beverage is huge business. Beverage is every bit as big as
Kelly
food.
tells us we've got to distinguish
What's
the front
next?
of the house, the back of the house, because it's going to change. It's gonna
Recreation,
impact them differently.
clubs. Are festivals
What
big
else do we
business
need to
today?
think about? And
How many of you have gone out to a music festival?
Politics we need to think about.
How many of you go out to the Ren Fair?
Tipping in our restaurant.
NRA has one, they have
How many of you think like I do
If I asked you on the exam to explain the multiplier effect, going
that camping is a hotel with one bar?
We need to think about
give me an example of leak?
somebody's mouth all day long.
You didn't get it.
Anybody
How many like to camp?
Well, there you go. Any of you like going to the dentist? Who likes going to the dentist?
Matt leaving Houston with his money and going to spend it in Bossier City, Louisiana. That money leaked out of our economy.
I did that when I was like 8.
And
I had
went
enough
over
of
and
that.
was
You guys
spent
have
over
I was
there.
like, no, no thanks.
You guys all
I want a
have
refrigerator.
We support Matt with public schools,
I want a
universal
bed.
ways, Wi-Fi, etc.
Mosquitoes.
We
I
want his
don't
money
like
here.
snakes.
Where is he spending his
I'm
discretionary
not a fan
money?
on this side.
Hey guys,
wanna go
great
get
class,
together real quick.
great conversation. You've got a little more to do in chapter 1, right? Hey, you're going to be prepared for chapter 2
These are your goals.
on Thursday, right?
Right?
All right. I'm giving you, I'm letting you out. I want you to go out front.
Okay, guys, great conversation. Call it a day.
interesting
What's today, Thursday?
Let's just take
Don't
the next
drink and
5
drive.
minutes and let's use our critical thinking skills.
Have fun, but don't.